Hey folks, Dave with Small Batch Cigar. Today we're taking a look at the Fat Tony from Lure Cigars. This is exclusive to Small Batch until May 15th. And this is the original Corojo Oscuro blend, but in a 5x54. And I've smoked through the Corojos now. I think this might be my new favorite size. All right, so it's got a Corojo Oscuro wrapper from Nicaragua. It has an Esteli Nicaraguan binder and filler leaves, again, all from Nicaragua, from Esteli, Ometepe, and Jalapa. So let's dig into it and see what it's all about. No. Proper chop. So I met Lou at PCA for the first time in person, and Lou does not disappoint. He does not. If you didn't know where he was, you could look for the giant fishing pole. Just led you as like a beacon right to his shop, his booth. But such a great guy. Such a great guy. Such a delight in the industry. Through the nose, there is a gigantic cinnamon blast, which is why I keep coming back to these. If I'm being totally honest, I love cinnamon. And right now there is like a finished leather base happening and a cinnamon blast through the nose, a little bit of this chocolatey, this nuanced chocolate. I can't quite figure out what type I'm sensing right this moment on the mouthfeel and through the nose. Yeah, baking spices abound. There's an earthiness coming through the mouthfeel, not present in the nose. I believe it goes smoke gray cigars and tell tall tales, which is hard to say 5 times fast. But this cigar is a tale of baking spices for me, particularly in this size. I find that the Robusto size is more chocolatey, it's a little more hearty. This one has the sweet baking spices that I crave. It's got what plants crave. And that's a good day. Alrighty, we're right at the 10-minute mark, and there's been a development. There has been a development. It is now significantly bolder than it was in the first 30 seconds. The intensity is very in your face. This is very full-bodied. Strength is probably just a touch under full, would be my guess. I always feel like strength is a cumulative effect, and it's hard to like gauge where it is throughout the cigar. It's really when I put it down with that last third, that's when I know like this was a heavy hitter, or you know what, this was all right, it stabilized. But now there is a lot of earthiness. There's also a lot of breadiness, which sounds so strange for a full-bodied, intense cigar. But it's earthy, it is bready, and that combination of baking spices that are singeing the nostrils, no joke, reminds me a little bit of gingerbread, maybe a ginger snap with like that molasses and other stuff happening as well. Spices abound in the Fat Tony, and it's such a delightful retrohale in the shed. It hurts on the deck. It's so funny to me, it always has been, how smoking indoors versus outdoors changes everything. But in my personal opinion, I taste more outside. I get much more of the experience with the wind blowing and the smoke just, you know, ruminating around in nature and not being confined to a box. Maybe a little bit of chocolate covered almond there as well, and a massive dose of cinnamon. Let's see what it's like with coffee. I have yet to take a sip, but I made espresso with milk, a latte per se. The ratios might be wrong, but that makes this cigar even breadier. It tones down that earthy, spicy nature, and it becomes pretty much just bready. That is cool. So if you're looking for a bready cigar and you don't want the extra excitement, pair this guy with coffee. I also think this tastes to me a lot like Angel's Envy rye. Not the bourbon, the rye. The Caribbean rum cask finished rye, because to me that is like Christmas morning in a bottle. It is very caramelly, vanilla-y, and cinnamon. tons of cinnamon. It's kind of what this is reminding me of. I'm just gonna do a quick touch up because I might have not lit it right. Alrighty, 25 minutes in. This is a very, very slow burning cigar. I am getting a lot of those baking spices again. Every now and then, it's not quite like cinnamon. Sometimes it hits me like red pepper flake. A lot of times with the earthiness adding to the mix, it kind of reminds me of nutmeg as well. But there's a delicate balance of sweetness, spices. There's even a little bit of citrus as well. And every so often, I still get a little bit of that leathery undertone as well. It's interesting because the cigar hasn't really changed that much from the very beginning, but it's like folding in on itself over and over and over so that it's nuanced and it changes in a very slight way, which makes it all the better because every puff is just a little bit different. A different flavor, a different tasting note has the spotlight with every puff. It's pretty cool. First thing I'm getting right after dropping the ash is probably just straight molasses, some citrus, breadiness, but now it's definitely more like a rye bread. Gotta love that. The ash drop, switch, flip. Yeah, dropping the ash gave it a lot more of a citrusy presence. The baking spices switched over too, so we're still getting molasses a couple more minutes in after dropping the ash, so it wasn't just a one-time fluke kind of deal. The baking spices now are hitting me like allspice. There is a little bit of that Arabic coffee vibe happening. We're vibing. What's interesting to me though is that the first third of this cigar, it wasn't creamy, nor was it drying on the palate. It just was. But the second third, the second segment in the cigar is a cream machine. This cigar is just coating my palate with oils right now in a way it really didn't in the first third. Really interesting stuff. In addition to the creaminess in this segment, there's also a woodiness that is just evolving as we go. Citrus continues to morph and change and shift, and it's delightful. It's playing against everything else. The body of this right now, I'd say it's probably medium to full. At this point, I would guess strength would probably even out around the medium to full line. The cigar has been a roller coaster so far, and thinking back on everything I've said, I know that it doesn't seem that way because the flavor profiles, the way I could describe them, seemed kind of linear, I'm guessing, when you watch this review. But everything kept changing throughout, so it would be the same baseline impression, but with a new twist. The Fat Tony is really impressive, and I hate that I don't have better descriptors to describe it to you. But if you like cinnamon, if you like chocolate, if you like a fuller, stronger cigar, this might be a contender for you. Might be a contender. It's really good stuff. But let's see what other people are saying about this cigar. So the only thing I'm able to find is from Stogie Press, who rated it a must try at 95 points. They rated the Big Lou, the Toro size, saying, quote, "I say grab a bundle of these and tell your own tall tales." That's it from us, guys. I hope you have an awesome Easter Sunday. We'll see you soon.